good men do not automatically rise to power. In fact, history suggests the opposite. The most moral person in the room is rarely the one in control. We are taught that kindness leads to leadership, that fairness earns authority, that integrity guarantees influence. But power does not reward goodness. It rewards understanding. And this is the first illusion we must confront. In The Prince, Machiavelli made a claim that unsettled the moral foundations of his time. A ruler, he argued, must learn how not to be good. Tonight, we begin where most political thinkers hesitate. Power is not morality. And if you confuse the two, you will never understand either. From childhood, we are given a comforting equation. Good behavior equals good outcomes. Be honest and you will be trusted. Be kind and you will be respected. Be fair and you will be rewarded. In small communities, families, classrooms, close friendships, this often holds true, because those environments are built on shared values. But power does not operate in small moral circles. It operates in systems. Systems reward what preserves stability, protects hierarchy, and maintains control, not what feels ethically pure. This is where the illusion begins. We assume that because morality works in personal life, it must scale upward into politics, leadership, and authority. It does not. Political structures are not designed to reward goodness. They are designed to survive. And survival has different requirements. A leader who makes only morally comfortable decisions may feel righteous. But if those decisions weaken their position, create instability, or embolden opposition, the system corrects them, often by removing them. The first step in understanding power is separating personal virtue from structural necessity. Morality governs the individual. Power governs the structure. Confuse the two, and you misread the world. In The Prince, Machiavelli wrote something that shocked Renaissance Europe. A ruler who tries to be good in all circumstances will come to ruin among so many who are not good. Notice the precision. He did not argue that goodness is evil. He argued that rigid goodness is dangerous in competitive systems. Machiavelli observed republics collapsing because leaders hesitated. He watched alliances crumble because rulers valued reputation over decisive action. He studied how hesitation invited invasion. His conclusion was not emotional. It was empirical. Politics is not a moral contest. It is a contest of leverage. If your rival is willing to act strategically while you cling to idealism, the imbalance is obvious. You become predictable. And predictability is weakness in environments where ambition exists. Machiavelli's realism is often misinterpreted as cruelty. It is not cruelty. It is acknowledgement. Acknowledgement that humans are inconsistent, self-interested, reactive to strength. He stripped politics of illusion, and that is why his work still unsettles readers today. Power functions through perception, deterrence, and consequence. Morality functions through conscience. These are different mechanisms. In a power structure, people constantly assess: what can this person enforce? What will this person tolerate? What are the consequences of defying them? If the answers suggest softness without boundaries, challenges emerge. Not because people are evil, but because incentives shape behavior. Incentives are stronger than ideals. A leader who refuses to punish betrayal may believe they are demonstrating compassion. But what they signal is vulnerability. And vulnerability attracts opportunists. This is not cynicism. It is game theory. When participants in a system are driven by ambition, fear, or survival, they test limits. If limits are unclear or unenforced, authority erodes. Morality works best when everyone agrees to uphold it. Power exists precisely because not everyone does. This is the tension, and ignoring it does not dissolve it. It only blinds you to it. You may not command armies, but you navigate hierarchies every day. In corporations, in institutions, in social networks. Consider the manager who avoids difficult conversations to maintain harmony. At first they are liked, but slowly standards decline. Performance weakens. Discipline fades. Eventually, authority dissolves. Not because they lacked kindness, but because they lacked enforcement. Or consider the colleague who constantly accommodates others. They take on extra work. They avoid confrontation. They never assert boundaries. They are seen as agreeable, but rarely as influential. Influence requires perceived strength, not aggression, not dominance. Strength. The modern prince does not rule a kingdom. He or she rules perception. If others believe you are incapable of decisive action, your moral consistency will not protect your status. Power respects clarity. Ambiguity invites erosion. At this point, a misunderstanding often forms. If morality is insufficient for power, does that mean immorality is required? No, this is where precision matters. Machiavelli did not advocate chaos or sadism. He warned against hatred. A ruler who becomes despised invites rebellion. The principle is not to abandon virtue. It is to avoid being imprisoned by it. Strategic flexibility means understanding when rigidity harms stability. Sometimes a harsh decision prevents greater instability later. Sometimes swift discipline prevents prolonged conflict. Sometimes appearing strong prevents the need to prove it. The objective is not cruelty. It is preservation of order. Power without ethical awareness becomes tyranny. But morality without strategic awareness becomes fragility. The wise leader navigates between the two. Conscious, calculated, controlled. There is a reason many people reject Machiavelli. His realism is isolating. It forces you to admit that the world does not always reward sincerity. It forces you to accept that intentions are invisible, but actions are measurable. It removes the comfort of believing that fairness alone ensures safety. When you separate morality from power, you see systems more clearly. You see why leaders make decisions that appear cold, why alliances shift, why loyalty dissolves under pressure. This clarity can feel unsettling, because once you see the mechanism, you cannot unsee it. But awareness is not corruption. It is protection. Understanding power does not mean you must abuse it. It means you are no longer naive within it. And perhaps that is the deeper connection to solitude. The one who observes quietly learns what others overlook. And the one who understands structure is rarely surprised by outcome. Power is not morality. It is the management of reality.